Yes, sirree. Like this image he's created for himself. Yeah, the legend of a goddess worshiper, of the moon goddess worshiper. Oh, yeah, goddess, a female. Yep, that's really what he stands for, is the moon goddess, a female. And if we go with what he's actually really putting in your face and not telling you, we can go back to Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton, who was the creator of a name right out of the book itself, ISIS. And who was Isis? Another female goddess. And what did we use that female goddess for? Oh, to create a pretend terrorist organization called ISIS. That's right. And what does Monday stand for? Well, Monday stands for moon. Moon day. Goddess. Anyhow, I'm not even going to go into any more detail on that. That could be a whole video within itself. I just wanted to throw that in your face. He's made himself a nice little shield and a sword, and that's right. But the snake oil salesman's here. The female worshiper. That's right. That's really what he is. He's a female worshiper. Okay? Who places them above himself. But just the same, when there's nobody above nobody, he's going to feed you a bunch of, well, very, very intelligently put together by the powers to be and their think tanks into an article to fool the masses into believing bullshit. So, but let's go on. Oh, we got no sound here. Maybe we better turn that sound on. Huh. That might help. Here we go. We'll come back here. We'll try that again.
So I had a subscriber pass on an article to me that was rather surprising to me and applies to, or it might apply to some of you guys in the comment section. These are not results that I would have expected, and unfortunately, they don't know the cause and effect as to exactly what's going on here.
Right. Okay. Don't worry, we'll get into it. I just had to pause right here. Yep, this is the face of a goddess worshiper. Goddess, the female worshiper. Yep. Hiding under the moon god, and what else is he? Oh, that's right, he's a snake oil salesman. And he's about to sell you some snake oil here. Watch up.
So let me show you this article in question. Study finds if you were born in this condition, you may never have a successful romantic relationship.
Right. A study finds that if you're born in this condition, you may never have a successful romantic relationship. Okay. Well, I guess if you're born the Elephant Man, you're born totally deformed. You look like a creature from outer space. Yeah, you probably won't have a romantic relationship. But he's not going to that's not what he's talking about. No. No. He's going to talk about something that they couldn't even back up. He's going to feed you a bunch of propaganda. That's what he's going to do. Something that could never be backed up. But he wants you to believe this is true because it's been professionally wrote by the think tanks of the powers to be. Yeah.
This was just released recently.
Yep, it was just recent. Okay, it was very recent. See this baby? Yep, see this baby right here? Study shows that this baby's going to be INCEL. Yeah. This brand newborn baby, yep. We've dictated its life for it already. Yep, studies show that. Nonsense. Hogwash. Bullshit. let's justify our eugenic program, our social engineering, right there, old Mr. Goddess Worshipper Monday.
Children that are born prematurely are less likely to form romantic relationships with their peers and have
Right. Children that are born prematurely are less likely to perform a relationship with their peers.
children of their own.
Hold on. I gotta back this up. This is funny. Okay.
To form romantic relationships with their peers and have children of their own.
And have children of their own even. Yep.
Yeah, if your parents didn't have any children, it's very unlikely that you will have any children.
And this is the part I about fell out of my chair, and I had to play it back because did I hear him say what he just said? So I played it back. Okay. Now I want you to pay attention to the wording very close here.
Children, it's very unlikely that you will have any children. A human birth that takes
Oops, I didn't go quite far enough back. Let's go a little further.
Peers and have children of their own. Yeah, if your parents didn't have any children.
If your parents, now catch this. This is where I fell over laughing. If your parents didn't have any children.
It's very unlikely that you will have any.
And then it's very unlikely that you'll have any children. I don't know how that works. Could you please explain that there to me, snake oil salesman? So let's see. Your parents never had no children. So therefore, you'll never have no children. Hold on. Back up. Hit the brakes. Slam them on hard before you hit the semi here. Okay. He just said these words. If your parents never had any children, then it's unlikely you'll have any children. Now, how many of you can see through this? How many of you have the ability to really, truly understand what words just fell out this man's mouth? Let's usher this one more time. Oh my God, did I laugh on this one? I almost was on the floor in stitches. But then I realized how dumb people are, okay? So here we go.
Children that are born prematurely are less likely to form romantic relationships with their peers and have children of their own. Yeah, if your parents didn't have any children, it's very unlikely that you will have any children.
Yep, see, he ushered them words. If your parents didn't have any children, it's unlikely you'll have any children. Okay, so let's get this straight. Your parents. So let's just go with the first one. Your biological parents never had any children. Well, then you're not here. How could you not have any children of your own when you was never born? Do you understand the words that just fell out his mouth? If your parents never had any children, okay, of their own. So really what he's saying is your adopted parents, right? So if you got a mom and dad who adopted you because they were unable to have children, then because they adopted you, you'll automatically not be able to have children yourself. Okay, so here's the hypocrisy. Okay, we have, I don't know if you smell it, I smell it. The turds that's falling out this guy's mouth right here. Let's play it again so you can hear the turds again. This part's so hilarious. How he's playing everybody for so dumb. And the words within themselves. And when I said snake oil salesman, I wasn't lying. Here it is in your face.
Children that are born prematurely are less likely to form romantic relationships with their peers.
Right. So somehow, if you're born prematurely, you won't be able to form a relationship with your parents. Okay, have you got any more details on that? Like, Was there something in the brain you can point at that maybe was underdeveloped, that don't finish developing because you was born prematurely? Have you got a little more details on that, please? Oh, that's right. No, he don't. Okay.
And have children of their own. Yeah, if your parents didn't have any children, it's very unlikely that you will have any children.
Right. Okay. Just now, he didn't say if your parents adopted you. He just simply said if your parents didn't have any children, that it's very unlikely that you'll have any children. The problem with that statement is simple. If your parents didn't have any children, then you ain't got no parents because you wasn't born. You don't exist. So of course you're not going to have children when you don't exist. And then on the other hand, we could be talking about adopted, right? Okay, so mom and dad are two people that could not have kids. The mother wasn't able to conceive, get pregnant, whatever, for whatever reason. So you two went out and adopted. Okay, so you adopted another child, and then you're going to say, well, then they won't be able to have a child neither because I know I adopted them. Okay? You know how completely out of your mind you had to be here? Do you realize the insanity of what this man just said? How completely out of your mind you have to be to not understand what this man just told you? Anyhow, he's going to go on with this nice fancy wrote an article, and he's going to tell you this is why you're INCEL or TFL. You know, they are doing their best to try and give you a scientific medical explanation for the social engineering. Yep, that's really what's going on here. We're trying to sell you some snack oil. That's right. We're going to sell you a crock of shit. And for your dummies who don't have a brain cell that functions yet, that's why you can believe that this is why you couldn't get nobody in your life. It couldn't have had nothing to do with social engineering, no. It couldn't have had anything to do with that. There has to be a better sounding excuse.
A human birth that takes place before the start of the 37th week of pregnancy is one that is medically defined as premature.
No shit. See, now what he's going to do is tell you some truth. I mean, I'm telling you, this was fancily wrote. These people over here, these think tanks for the people up there in the pyramid, they did a really wonderful job writing this article. And they got this really wonderful snake salesman over here. This goddess worshiper. Yeah, you know, the moon worshipping goddess worshiper. That's right. Monday, moon worship. Monday, goddess worship, moon worship. Okay, well, I'll get off that kick now, okay? We'll just call the guy what he is, a clown. Okay, an agent, a plant. Yep. What he really is. That's right, for the tool. For the tool. And right now he's selling you some snake oil for all of you ignorant idiots in the manosphere who don't have a brain cell one to think with. If that's the case, you will fall for this hook, line, and sinker, and you will be the fish on the end of the line. If you got one lick of common sense in your head, you should be able to see through the pocus pocus right off the bat, because the guy tried to say something that's just not possible, and he made an assumption right off the bat, okay? First off, if your parents didn't have any children, most likely you won't. And because he didn't specify, I'd have to say, if your parents didn't have any children, it's because you're not here. You wasn't ever born. And then I'm going to go, well, if your parents didn't have any adopted children, because then that means your parents must have adopted a child, right? Well, because they adopted a child, it means you won't have children. Well, so when they adopted you, what? They took you in and had you neutered? They practiced eugenics? They adopted a baby girl. They had her fixed when she was 9 years old so she could never ever have a kid. They adopted a boy. They had him fixed when he was 9 years old so he could never get a girl pregnant. Is that really what you're saying? Is that really what you're secretly saying? Because outside of that, what you said would be completely nuts. But then you are a snake oil salesman, ain't you? Yeah, you sure are. You're an agent. You're a plant. You know you are. I know you are. Yeah, we know that you're collecting the tool for the think tanks to help destroy society. And you're right up here doing your job, ain't you?
Although an instance of this occurrence is typically accompanied with a string of physical and developmental implications for the infant, and sometimes even the mother, the severity and character of these complications are determined by the following predictors. Late preterm born between 34 and 36 completed weeks of pregnancy, moderately preterm born between 32 and 34 weeks of pregnancy, very preterm born at less than 32 weeks of pregnancy, extremely preterm born at or before 25 weeks of pregnancy. Now, a global study published just this past Friday by the JAMA Network Open, spanning Germany, Denmark, Norway, Sweden, Finland, United Kingdom, Netherlands, Israel, Canada, United States, New Zealand, and Australia, concentrates the ramifications towards the long view. It motions that children that are born prematurely are less likely to form romantic relationships with their peers, have children of their own, and are more than twice as likely to never copulate.
Right. You do realize this article was wrote with nothing backing nothing up. First off, they forgot to tell you about today's technology. They can place the baby in this nice device just like an incubator. Okay. And hook nourishments up to the baby to let its lungs finish and developing. Yeah, lots of babies are premature. Their lungs are underdeveloped. This is underdeveloped, and they place them in these things they didn't have many, many, many decades ago. And they put the right nourishment in the vein, in the little dinky IVs, and it gives the body the nourishment and the right environment. The lungs finish developing, and this finishes developing. And then as soon as the baby's finished developing, they get to take it out, and the baby goes on with its life. Now, if you can show me something scientifically showing that the brain, these areas that control our sexual attractions, these areas that control this and this part of our life, are underdeveloped after we've done everything we can do, and you can back that, prove that, then I could say, okay, maybe this is where pedophilia comes from. Maybe this is where gayness comes from. Maybe this is where a handicap comes from. I could come into a million spots here and a million different things, and I could say maybe there's a possibility of what you're saying could be somewhat true if you could take the study a little further than what this article does. But this is a snake oil salesman reading a powers to be, very, very, very well put together so that we could use medical and scientific reasons to say why you're going to be INCEL and TFL, when the real reason you're going to be INCEL and TFL, in the majority of all cases, the majority, is because of decades and decades and decades of social engineering by these think tanks television set, books and magazines, music, school system lies, propaganda, fashion industry, modeling industry. I can take all of the different social engineering aspects and roll them out there and show you how they directly affected people's lives, from sports to entertainment to, I mean, it's big. It goes right across the board. Feminism, I mean, it's a spider web, and every little strand of a spider web, and this little dinky spider web that's part of a gigantic spider web. I'm going to take one little dinky spider web out of that gigantic spider web, and this is going to be our dating arena. This is going to be our experiences between the genders. And that's how many tools every little strand has been used to cause this problem with social engineering, decade after decade after decade. I can take you clear back to the 1920s and show you how they were working on it then. That's right, long before any of us were here that are here right now. Okay? And I can honestly show you this. How it was in baby steps and how it was being worked on then. But this article isn't going to say that. This is a snake salesman with a snake salesman article to sell you down the rabbit hole. To make it sound legit. That because you was born premature, we know what your lifelike outcome's going to be. That you won't have social skills, you won't be able to intervene or act or talk or play like a normal little kid. And you won't grow up like a normal little kid. What a crock of hogwash, what a crock of bullshit. That's what this entire video is. It's a snake oil salesman's video filled full of a crock of shit. Okay, that's what this is. This is the real reason he's doing this, because he didn't just find this article guaranteed it was passed down to him, but of course it had to be pushed onto a public spot so other people could see it, okay, so that we could make him look legit as possible. That's right. And of course he's going to tell you it's one of his followers or whatever, and it doesn't matter, okay? It just doesn't matter. You already heard it. The very beginning, he really told on himself hard. He really did. He told on himself really hard, okay? When he suggested that if your parents has never had children, you wouldn't have children. He told you was adopted. Okay? And if you wasn't adopted, you don't exist. Okay? Because when your parents never had children, then you won't have children. Could only mean adopted children. And if you think it don't just mean adopted children, then I have to challenge you and tell you that, okay, so your mom and dad wasn't able to have children. Yeah! Well, then how'd they have you? If you're not adopted, how did they have you? Then they're scratching their head going, huh? Huh. And if you adopt a child, so what? You had it medically fixed to not be able to get pregnant? Or to get somebody pregnant? Is that what you're telling me? That you're practicing eugenics? Because if you're not telling me them items, then how could you use being prematurely born as an excuse to say why they're going to be rejected by their opposite gender after they get older and hit puberty? How could you use that as an excuse? You couldn't! This means you're reading some baby child's future. And you know what their behavior and likes are going to be. Now, how about you know what's going on like I know what's going on? It's called social engineering and brainwashing. and getting ready to introduce the chip to the human mind so that they could use AI to control people's thoughts, emotions, feelings, to control the brain. How about you know as well as I do, this is about NWO, this is about, well, what's government stand for? Enslavement, mind control. What has the CIA been doing for years? MK Ultra, mind control experiments. What's the real agenda? To control the human mind, to control the masses, to enslave the masses, so the handful of sick, psychopathic, sick-in-the-head, twisted screwballs can call themselves gods. And what's this guy hide under? He hides under Monday, Moon Day. That's what he hides under. Moon Day. And what does Moon Day stand for? Worshipping females, calling them what? Goddesses. And what do the powers to be think they are? They think they're gods. See, it all goes together hand in hand. And now we're giving you this phony, baloney, complete hogwash, well-written article that tells truth. This is how we do it. We put truth in here and then we use that truth to lie to you. And what he's done is use that truth to tell you how he knows that this baby boy that was underdeveloped at birth, he didn't say it was going to be born the Elephant Man. He didn't say it was going to be born totally deformed, looking like a fucking swamp beast. You didn't hear him say that. No, he don't say that. He's going to tell you, because of this article that we have put together using medical and science to make it sound legit, is going to tell you if you're underdeveloped at birth, even though this happens all the time, and has happened throughout history, and many underdeveloped children went ahead and gone on, growing up, and before the division got as bad as it is now, met their significant other, had children, and went on. Oh, he's not going to tell you that part. No. You're not supposed to know that part. You're supposed to believe that if you're underborn, that you're going to be alone the rest of your life. Yeah. You won't be able to socialize with other people. That's right. You won't be able to make that connection, no. With another human being, yeah. That's what he wants to tell you. That's what he's selling you. Because he's a snake oil salesman working for the globalist. And he's selling you a crock of shit. And he's selling you an article that was well wrote to convince you of a crock of shit. I suggest you take the crock of shit and flush it. And disregard what this guy's telling you. Or you will be mentally fucked up when he's through with you. Because that's what this snake oil salesman calling himself Monday, hiding his real name, is here for. Is to fuck your life up. All in the name of, I'm here to help you. Anyhow, with that being said, if you ain't got enough brains to see through this crock of shit, there's no help for you.